Saltburn gave us one of the darkest characters to ever be portrayed on film. So join me as I take you on a journey into the mind of a sociopath.
All right, let's get started.
Alright, this movie was actually really genius. You watch a sociopath with no emotions manipulate rich people with no emotions on an elevated level. So I'm gonna break it down to you to the brake pads, the psychology of this incredible film. We're gonna start at the end and then work our way backwards. Let's do it. Now, this was a very intelligent film. All right, we meet Oliver, who is the protagonist turned antagonist in the film. He discovers Felix, the popular rich kid, and he wants to be a part of that circle. He wants to be in that crowd. But we find out slowly there's a lot of things wrong with Oliver. The boy's sick. The boy is extremely sick. This might be the sickest character. He's one of the sickest characters I've ever seen in the film. Not only is he one of the sickest characters, but Barry Keoghan did such a good job of selling it, you would think that he's worse than the Joker. This guy might give the Joker a run for his money. So Saltburn was not only the location of the rich mansion / castle, it was also literal in terms of Oliver was the salt burning everyone. Everybody at the castle had very deep emotional wounds, and Oliver was the salt that burnt their asses. By the end, Oliver was left as the king and sole beneficiary of Saltburn. He got to be the lord of the manor. He picked off every single person connected to Saltburn one by one. Divide and conquer. And that was his plan from day one entering that school. This movie does a great job of making the film start off as Oliver appearing weak and needing saving, needing help. That's when his manipulation began. It began early and he ran his gambit to perfection. Now, you can see this early on. They show Oliver going to buy drinks for everyone after being hesitant. They made it seem like Felix was coming over to give Oliver money, allowing him to keep his dignity at the same time and play it off like he found the money, but he really gave it to him. But in reality, Felix saw Oliver's money actually fall out of his pocket. Oliver pretended like he didn't know what was going on. He gaslit homeboy so bad, and the fact that Felix ignored the gaslighting let Oliver know he could continue to manipulate him. He knew he was going to get away because Felix was an idiot. He was testing everybody at Saltburn in multiple ways to see if anybody would even call him out. There were so many times that he went off script, like off his character, like the real him came out. And I'm like, all right, is somebody going to address this? Nobody even addressed it at all. Nobody even batted a finger. It's just like, because he was just, they didn't view him that way because they just viewed him as poor and not a threat. The 48 Laws of Power says, play a sucker to catch a sucker. Seem dumber than your mark, and Oliver did just that. He was that book that everybody judged by its cover, to their own detriment. He literally made himself look like Harry Potter, which was one of the most disarming figures of all time. That was a foolish move on their part. I mean, it was almost scary how methodical he was in his maneuvers. The boy was good, all right? He was good. Now let me explain how I relate this to Cruel Intentions. I got real strong Cruel Intentions vibes the first time I saw this movie. This is basically like if Cruel Intentions was set in an alternate universe. Because in Cruel Intentions, you got a bunch of rich people playing mind games with each other.
Don't you get it? You're just a toy, Sebastian. A little toy I like to play with.
Playing mind games with the weak poor person, kind of like how Catherine took advantage of Cecile. So you think that they're going to do the same to Oliver, but he fooled them and he ended up turning the tables on them. And that was his plan the entire time. They let him in and then he ate them from the inside. At one point, the sister called him a moth.
You're a moth. Quiet, harmless, drawn to shiny things.
And you really think about how she described the moth, and he really did eat them all from the inside. So my final thoughts about this film is that it was a great psychological thriller. It had all the deceit the manipulation, narcissistic characters, seductions of the weak, mind games, and emotionally bankrupt individuals in this that you're looking for. Honestly, all these elements made Oliver able to work his way in. He was the moth in the clothes. Everybody who was native to Sunburn, it's like they were dissociated from reality, from how they spoke about people to how they literally ignored life-altering events and pretending like devastation wasn't happening, like they just turned a blind eye to it on purpose. Oliver was disgusting. I mean, he ran red lights, drank creamy bathwater, if you know what I'm talking about, and he clapped the cheeks of a grave plot. I mean, this is some of the sickest things I've ever seen on film. It was horrifying, but also captivating that Oliver was so unapologetically himself. He wanted that mushu.
On vacation, man, and I want some mushu. Mushu, you hungry?
I mean, Barry Keoghan is almost scary how well he played this character. Like, I don't know. I would think twice about hanging out with the guy. There is no way you can walk away from this film and not feel like your mind melted into oblivion. I like how this was not your normal unpopular kid teaches the rich kid a valuable lesson story. Well, I mean, he did, but this was a different kind of lesson in general. This was a lesson in humility. But I want to know, what did you get from the movie? Did you see the same thing? What else did you catch? I want to know. Hit those comments. All right, so I appreciate you stopping by. I got more reactions, reviews, news, all on the way. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button so you don't miss out, all right? So until next time, please be safe and remember, always speak your truth, all right?